do anything, I like to clean the parts up. And simple green is, of course, always one of the good choices. So yesterday we had a good ride. I just was as happy as could be with the bike, of course. And the roads are so empty now, there's almost no people on them, just people walking more than people driving. And it's like we have no police anymore. I did not even see a cop car. And it just makes the ride a little bit nicer. But anyway, what did happen yesterday, and it happens with all older bikes, older houses, older people, you always get what I call the surprise of the day. I'm riding along, and the side stand switch, the big red light comes on telling me that, hey, guess what? Your side stand is down. I look down, side stand is up. So I know it's the switch. It's just a make-break switch, so it's not a big deal. Now, as I always do, first thing I do, I get home, I try to adjust it. No matter how you adjust it, the light stays on. So the switch is shorted out, and that's the end of it. No big deal. I go to Partzilla, my best friend, look up, yeah, the switch is still in stock. They still have them. 40 bucks. 40 bucks. Then I got to pay tax and shipping. That makes it about 55. And then to get $55, I have to earn about 85 and pay tax on it before I have 55 and I can pay the switch. So that's an $85 switch, no matter how you look at it. And then I gotta wait a week, maybe longer. Sometimes Partzilla, it's not, quick service. So anyway, I look at the switch and I think, what am I talking about? I got a whole GS1100 sitting here. Maybe that switch is on the bike. And maybe it's my lucky day. So all I have to do is take that switch off the bike, make sure the make-break part of it works, and swap them out. And that's what's nice about having a parts bike. So I look at the part bike, sure enough I have a switch. I don't know if it's good or not before I swap anything out. Taking it out is no big deal. It's only 2 wires. They connect up under the gas tank. And what I'll do the first thing is take this apart and make sure this switch works before I go any further. But Luciano used to say, when you have a parts bike, it's like having a Christmas tree, and you just go over and take ornaments off it whenever you like. And I kind of, to be honest, I agree with him. It is handy. And even with more modern bikes, the thing that always kills me about Partzilla, or any of the places that sell parts, some of the parts are pretty reasonable, but some of the parts are just crazy. The prices are completely crazy. So what happened is, and I thought I'd detail this out as one of the things of information sharing. This is an information thing. So again, this is the spare GS I bought from a guy in Philadelphia. Ray went down with me, helped me pick it up. We negotiated the price at $700 because it does need a crankshaft. So I had thought at one time I would spend the money and do it. When I start pricing out the parts, and the bearings for the crank are $125 each, I said, nah, not cost effective. But I paid $700 for the bike. Now what's good about it, the first thing I did was use all the bodywork. And I found out the tanks, when they're in nice shape and don't leak, go for $400 or $500. So maybe I got half of my money back. I wanted to make a set of spare wheels. Well, I got a set of spare wheels. Now I also, and it's tricky that I did this, what happened, the guy had told me when I bought the bike, he said, I just put fresh brakes on it. And I took all the pucks out of the rotors. I had a whole set of EBC brakes, way over $100. So as time has gone by, there's several other things. I've used some of the instruments off the instrument thing when I rebuilt the instrument cluster. I've used some of that stuff up. I've used the levers. And so as I start adding this up, and I start thinking, well, for $700, I probably already got my money back, and I still have the bike. And on a day like today, I've got an $80 switch sitting right down there, and it's already in my garage, assuming it works. But never assume 43-year-old, 38-year-old stuff works. And I didn't even mention the biggest thing of all. I have it downstairs, and it's polished and ready to install. I have a totally stock exhaust system. I don't think you can buy that anywhere. Not a stock system. You can buy all this aftermarket stuff, but not a stock one. I also got a free set of brake rotors. So what I'm saying is, I'm trying to make a point, is when you buy a bike, and I also, by the way, I have a title for that bike, a clean title. So when you have a bike that you want to keep, and it's, in this case, 38 years old, and Partzilla still has some parts, and some parts impossible to get. And as I remember, when Tim dented his front wheel, and we couldn't find a wheel, and when you did find one, they wanted $300 for it, and then you didn't know if that was in good shape either. So I often think, and in my case, it's something, because I have a passion for these old motorcycles, that part of owning an antique bike is having an insurance policy. And there's my insurance, my $700 insurance policy. So I don't know, and I don't know if I could sell that for $700 right now. The bodywork is all good, the seat, I don't know, the headlight. But what happens, it's an experience that Luciano convinced me was a good deal years ago, and it's proven, as almost everything he said, it's proven to be true. And thank you, Luciano.
Wanted to mention one final thing that I have been enjoying on YouTube. Alan Malliard has his own channel, and of course he's an icon. He's the one that makes the Kawasaki 5 and 7 cylinder engines, and he's doing a project on YouTube right now that maybe it's old already, making a 6-cylinder Z1 that's really worth watching. It's in parts, and I've been watching one or two parts every day. Alan Malliard, it's worth watching. He is quite a creative guy.
So before I get started today flipping switches and stuff, of course I have to do the normal routine. Feed the fish, water the plants, make the coffee. Karen and I do a little I call it the perp walk every morning, checking out how the plants are coming out this time of year. It's just beautiful. Yes, it's that magic time of day. This is what makes it all possible. And our two plantings of zinnias, the top ones of course are older than the second ones, but even these are starting to grow now. Getting pretty exciting here on the farm. There's our boy. So everybody on the farm is fed and ready to go to work. So right after breakfast, Pokey dropped off this stuff here. He's got some supplies. Now what I'm going to do, because of the coronavirus, this stuff just came from good old Gavin's. So what I'm going to just do, I'm going to spray everything down with alcohol, let it sit out in the driveway here, try to just protect my family from any contamination that might be coming in that box. You never know. So I got this parts all sprayed down with the antibacterial solution that Karen's using. And it's funny, we're using more of this solution than we are gas in the car. So the good news about getting the old switch off, it's kind of easy. It's right out in the open. In fact, we've got to disconnect this set of wires. And once this is done, I see it's on nice little tabs along the frame. Once that's done, there should be a set of wires to disconnect. Should be two connectors right at the end. I'm hoping I don't have to take too much of this apart. Nope, here it comes. Here it is. And actually, they've had those two wires inside, I don't know why, inside a real rubber. There we go. So now it's just a question of, because it would be crazy to take the old switch off and everything until I find out if this one works. Maybe this one's just as bad. I've had that happen many times. And this wire gets routed down through here, so I don't know if I'm going to have to loosen this. Maybe they've got that set in there, but then there's these little tangs that hold a wire. The spring comes right off, and then this one bolt loosens up here, and that switch should come right off. And then we can test it. Just get our spare battery and test. Oh, you test it right near the bike. And once that's loose, that switch pulls right out. And now I just got to see if I can unfish that wire through. I'm not sure I'm going to have to loosen that. I don't want to strip. Nope, comes right out. I lied. And there's the old switch. So now, because we've just donated another body part from, and we have donated quite a few parts from this, but that's what allows me to keep the other GS running like it is. Now it's just my habit. Before I do anything, I like to clean the parts up. And simple green is, of course, always one of the good choices. I prefer working with clean stuff. Not everybody does. I understand. If you're making money doing this, maybe you don't clean the customer's bike. You just put it back the way it was. I don't know. But I like to have clean stuff. And there's nothing on here that would be, it's an on-off switch. It's a make-break. It feels like it's perfectly okay, but that doesn't mean it is, of course. Now, it's kickstand down, kickstand up, and it's a safety thing. I understand. This is a good thing to have. It's a really good thing. And if this switch is defective and I can't get it to work for some reason, there's no big deal. I'll just go buy the thing for what amounts to be 70 or 80 bucks of real money. But if I don't have to, having that parts bike is just really handy. I can't tell you how I enjoy taking parts off the parts bike. So, and at the end, I'll still have a parts bike. Of course, it's going to have all broken parts, but I don't know. That actually turned out to be one of the better investments I've made of money. I know I've gotten a return on my money, but it doesn't really matter. Now, I'm looking at this, and I want to make sure I don't have anything on here that's loose or broken. Nothing like that. So, just want to make sure it's nice and clean. Get this tested. Now, I guess what I could do, I don't even have to go get the other one. I just plug this into the motorcycle and see if this makes the light go on. That would be the easiest way to do this. So it's exactly the same. The wire goes behind here, and it looks like maybe it's going to be a job fishing it through there. We're going to have to make a fish to do that. This piece comes off, and then you can see where the wires go. They go right into there. And I put some tape on this one the other day when I took this apart to diagnose it, and I said, I'm not sure. I might want to ride the bike, and this will just allow me to get a ride in, but since it doesn't look like a riding day today, but you never know, that could change. So anyway, it's a little tricky getting those wires in there. We'll use very caution, and what I'll do before I do anything is check that the thing works before I put it in permanently. Now here's a good trick with this kind of job. It's hard to get it's impossible to get your fingers in there. But if you can hold the back piece of the wire with forceps, you can use a set of needle nose pliers and fish the new wires in just a little bit easier. And this is where having one of these little flashlights is really, really handy. Now with that forceps holding it, I can take that one out. Get this one in. This can be trickier than you think. You think, oh, I'm just gonna replace the switch. It's gonna take 5 minutes, and it winds up taking more than 5 minutes. That's for sure. Okay, that's clicked in now. Now we can check the switch. Yeah, this is just a test to see if the light. There it is. So I know that the switch is good. I've got to now take it out and take the old one out and reroute the wires back where the old one was. Put everything back together. And it sounds like this would be a 5-minute job. Believe me, this is not a 5-minute job. And to get it tested and cleaned, hopefully we got many, many more years of good service and safety with this. Now, as I'm checking out the routing here of this old wire, I'm thinking, you know, this is one of the things that, and it's really well engineered. They really have taken every step to keep this wire from rubbing on some engine part or whatever. Actually pretty good. Okay, so that can come out, that can come out. And this little piece here can come out. We can get the spring off. There's a little rubber boot on this side, so when I get this off, definitely want the spring. I want the rubber boot. take the rubber boot off. Here's the old. Now let's see if this is going to route right through. Yeah, that's going to be a problem. Now, I see, to get this to be just like the factory wants, I've got, oh, there we go. Okay, so that comes through there. Now, a good trick would always be, you can't really do it this way. If we could attach the wire to this and use this wire to fish it through, I'm just going to have to take a chance and fish it through with a piece of music wire. Okay, so the old switch is out. I know the old switch is bad, but I don't know what I'll do. Put it on eBay. Give it to Luciano. I don't know. Anyway, we want the new bushing. We want the spring. I want to clean everything up. Before I put this on permanently, I want to clean everything up. So the whole idea is that everything's nice and clean. This can get cleaned, and even a little spring can be cleaned. All right, so it's all cleaned up. I wire brushed the spring down a little bit, and it's ready to install. Now, because these wires have to go behind here, I made a hook. You can see the hook, and I can attach the wires through and pull them right through. Let me see if I can get this on video. So this is how an electrician would pull a wire behind a wall. It's called a fish. Of all things, a fish. Not a bird, not a worm, a fish. And that hook is going to allow me to pull the wires through. Now see how those wires had to be pulled through there, and that would be a real tricky thing. Now there's all these little hooks along the frame that keep that wire from rubbing on anything. Again, a nicely engineered job here. But that's a good trick. That's one, having a fish when you're working on when you're working on anything, good thing to have. So the next step is just to put this switch right about at the midpoint. Doesn't have to be exact, because we're going to have to, by loosening and moving this forward and back, you can set the spot at which this engages. Now I've got these wires all in position. They've all the little tabs are holding them in place. I've got the spring set at just in the middle, and that can be fine-tuned at the very end. The green wire goes there. Now I've got to, again, I want to make sure I have a good connection with the wires. And this is, well, not real tricky, but I want to hold that in place. I want to make sure these are in all the way, because this is buried down in the motorcycle, of course. And then the last thing, of course, to make sure we have a good connection. And we're ready to put the side cover back. Oh, we're ready to test it. See, I'm trying to avoid testing it. Now, if it doesn't work, we know the switch is good, so it'll be a question of adjusting it back and forth and figuring that out. Okay, so let's see if stand down. Looks like it might be our lucky day. So what we know is we have the switch in a good adjusting position. Question now of just snugging everything down. Tighten this up. And actually you need 2 wrenches to do this. It's a little tricky, but we'll get it. There we go. Ah. Okay. Now while I have this, I'm looking down here, and to wipe some of the grease off the kickstand. I'm looking around if there's any other, like I would try to do anytime, wires them right in the right spot, the factory spot. This is fine here. Everything looks okay. We're ready to put the side cover back on. Truth in advertising, I have fixed so many of these side covers. These little tabs break, and as I'm looking at this, all 3 of these have been broken off and fixed. But what'll make it stack the deck in your favor is, here's what happens. It's plastic and it gets brittle over time. If you put some wheel bearing grease on all of the little places that it goes in, what you do is you just stack the deck in your favor, that there's the minimum chance that it's going to happen. And when you rip them off, the worst thing in the world to do, and I mean this is a great tip, if you have a GS or any of these these Japanese bikes that have side covers, you grab it by the end and just pull it. You're almost guaranteed you're going to break those little tabs. And then if you know me, you'll be over at my house making carbon fiber little replicas. And if you don't know me, you're probably on eBay spending a lot of money. Now I really don't apologize to anybody for being a fanatic of having things clean, having things well maintained. It's just me. When you're not lucky, it's not your lucky day. Yeah, when you're lucky, it is your lucky day. And once again, that is one of the safety features, and it's one of the things I know. It only has to happen once or twice. You take off with the kickstand down and it can ruin your whole day. So our donor bike, once again, has stepped up to the plate and saved me probably $70 or $80. Made it very convenient to maintain this bike and keep it in good working order. And these two guys truly are evil twins, if there ever were a set of evil twins. And because I've owned this bike since it was brand new, I have a special attachment to it. And I really do try to keep it in nice condition. But most of all, not keep it as a museum piece, keep it as a rider and ride the wheels off it. And I think that's what this was made to. When Suzuki designed this, they made it as a driver. And having a parts bike, as I said before, I invested $700. I'm sure I got more than that back already, and I still have the bike. And I have other things. There's other things about this, I guess, that I mentioned. One day, the clutch cable broke on this on a ride back. Well, I just went over, took the clutch cable off this bike. Now, I also had another chance. See, this bike has a special custom lowrider seat. And I said, yeah, years ago when I got the bike, I said, let me just switch the seats and see if I like that one better. Well, I don't, because basically I have a bad back. And anything that I could make the seats bigger, in fact. But I got a chance to try it and see if I like it without getting married to it, without taking a perfectly good GS seat and modifying it. So there's value within value when you have a parts bike. And the older that the bike gets, having that spare exhaust system, wow. Having a spare set of carburetors that's totally cleaned and they're ready to put on a bike. Well, extra brake rotors, extra brake pucks, having a whole set of extra body work. It just goes on and on. And there's probably things I'm totally forgetting. Having an extra stock air cleaner. Wow, there's things that, well, there's another thing, the instruments. I forget what part I needed. I needed one of the gauges or one of the dials on the instruments. You just can you'd even never estimate correctly how valuable it is to have that parts bike sitting right over there. And if I ever find an engine, well, I'd have to pull it down to the frame, of course. But if I ever had an engine, this would be a good project. But you know what the problem is? I'm getting long in the tooth. And I'm running out of energy to do these major projects, so I don't know. And Karen says I should be retiring and moving to the Bahamas, but I know that's not going to happen. So here I am with my evil twin GS's, and these, I just can't ever underestimate how much fun I've had with this bike since 1982, buying it new, how many memories are attached to it, how many good rides I've been on, rides with friends, how many times we've met up at Choppers and gone on rides to up in New York State. Just couldn't. Pennsylvania could not have been a better investment. A good investment. I'm trying to keep it. And I always say this, I don't say this like I'm looking for sympathy votes. I say this because I mean it. I really want to keep these motorcycles until the day I die. And my goal is, and my passion is, to upgrade them, maintain them, keep the fleet intact. It's a small collection. There's no expensive bike. There's no collector bikes here. It's not a Jay Leno thing. But it has helped keep me young during some times that this coronavirus is just one of them. And it reminds me, never don't thank the, I call them heroes, but the healthcare workers. I saw the signs yesterday when I was riding that now they're referring to them as healthcare heroes. They really are heroes. So anyway, hope you enjoyed the video, and if the weather ever clears up, maybe it'll warm up tomorrow, we get another ride in. But thanks for watching. So tonight, Karen has prepared a, what is this?
Thai red curry cauliflower soup.
Cauliflower soup. And what kind of veggies do we have
With a
here?
side salad with homemade whole wheat croutons.
My God, this food is so good. I will definitely be gaining some weight soon.
Now, before I end the video, I wanted to put this on the end of the video. This is something I miss terribly, is Dale's market meetups, and what great memories I have of all of them before the virus hit. I hope we're going to get them back soon, but checking this out today, it reminded me of just some of the fun we've had, and just one more ride of the GS that adds to its legacy. And Dale, thank you very much for all the time and energy you put into this. These are some great memories. Hope you enjoy sharing them.
So this morning we're at the world famous Village Market here. We're going to walk the line of bikes that are here. It's a little early still. Take a little look at some of the equipment. Nice sidecar here.
What? I mean, was it just a specific year? No.
Suzuki Turbo.
Got a production model coming out, but I actually had to send him out my rear set. She made it for me. So it attaches the rear mount, you know, this part. Bolts right to the tank there. But he's got a production one that's actually rear set coming out. For that fully custom thing, which is cheaper than there. Yeah. I haven't been there. I was there for just 15 minutes. Yeah. But he's on Instagram.
And Mark is up here with his two-stroke. Light is coming through here. Mark's RG, of course. This unusual bike. Oh, look, he brought me a cup of coffee. What
Nice
a gentleman.
GS1100E.
Yeah, yeah. Your 750 would have looked pretty good right next to that.
Oh, yeah, sure would have. Oh, Cowie?
Yeah.
50?
Yeah, I like this old BMW here. My father,
really like this
my
one.
father would have drooled over this. My father was a BMW guy.
Yeah, it's real nice.
He loved that stuff. I know Ray'd be liking this. That's a, what year is that? 77? 74? Wow. Bunch of cafe racers down this end.
Yeah, but they're so good. I like this.
And then it goes after those right over here. It's a lot, you know, better. How you doing? Hey, what is up? Pretty cool. That's good. Not too bad. Yeah, I will. Hey, when?
Yeah.
750. Big. Still 750? No. What is that? 670, so it's a 650. Pretty cool. I like this one.
Yeah. Really nice.
I'm not crazy about the blacked out paint job, but if you put a nice paint job on this, it would have been nice. See, that's that light bar that they use where they just stick it on, curl it around. It's very bright, but I don't, personally, I don't know.
Well, it's all personal taste anyway. What's the difference?
Crack light. Oh, you got another one over there.
Some people like women with rings in their nose, you know? It's all personal taste. Not a ring in the nose guy. Not a ring in the nose girl guy.
I'm getting older where you can count the rings on my leg.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a tree. I like that one. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. The Yamaha.
Kind of funky. Yeah.
Yeah. Some nice stuff here this morning.
Yeah, there is.
Some real nice stuff. Some unusual stuff. Where the hell's Najat? He's oversleeping. Najat, you gotta wake up in the morning. Another sidecar.
Anything like that? Oh, really? Like in the mud. Yeah.
That's yours, right? Yeah. You're not selling it. Because he's definitely fine. It's all right.
And of course, this is the beauty of the hangout here. It's nice coffee and food. It's basically the first Sunday of every month. It's right off exit 4 of the Palisade Interstate Parkway. You go south on 9W about a mile. And by the way, Vince, where the hell is your Aprilia? We got your starter brushes, but what happened to the Aprilia? This is a nice one.
Well, that's what I was going to say to you. That doesn't happen.
The bicycles are going by now. Anyway, if you've never been up to the Village Market, might be a good, nice place to hang out. Real nice Honda. Amazing the interest in old bikes. There's just a bottomless pit of interest in older bikes. One I know Ray would like to have in his collection.
When? I was just telling him, he owns the 750. I was just telling him about my orange 750.
Piece of junk.
I told him he probably would have liked it.
When I met him, he had this bike when I met him, and I said, if you're riding around junk like that, gotta get a Ducati.
Oh, he's a duck rider.
He abandoned all hope. He joined the dark side.
Oh, well, like I had the
You can't
Honda.
mingle with a duck rider.
I'd rather have your bike. This is beauty. I've seen this one before. This is a beauty.
More people.
I like this one, and I got a sleep
Don't sell the Honda, forget it.
Yamaha Virago coming.
Everybody's got a Ducati. They give them away. They're
Where do
salt
you see him?
shakers.
Where do you see Ducati?
They're salt shakers.
One here. I see more CB750s than I see Ducati. So what do you say?
I like your bike. It's beautiful. Don't let him bullshit you. His bike was nice too.
Nice too.
You guys would have had some nice rides together.
So what? That's a 75. I think that's a 76 one.
No. 76, I think. Yeah, no, that's an Yeah. Who did the tank for you?
Good, yeah. My buddy in Jersey. That looks good. Where in Jersey? Oh, no. Sorry, no. This thing. This thing.
I like that.
It'll look good on the video. I got you coming in with the angel eyes.
Yeah, new Honda emblem. I just slapped on the rear view camera I put on there.
No touching going on here for sure, right?
Huh?
No touching on the brake lines going on for sure?
What's up, big guy? You recovered from yesterday's adventure yet?
Oh yeah.
I haven't.
Oh really?
Oh my God. I feel like I've been whipped and ridden hard and put to sleep and... Hey, somebody stole your clutch. Look at this, he has no clutch. It
fell off.
It fell off, huh?
Yeah, I went to the movies last night.
Was Max tired after yesterday?
Yeah, he was a little bit tired.
Yeah, he did good though, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Good kid.
Hey,
Dale. Hey, what's up, Bob? What's going on, baby?
Come on, Bob.
Bob, it came out great.
Yeah? Yeah.
I looked at it this morning. I mean,
Now Glenn said next Sunday we all go up to his house, park the bikes there. He's going to detail them while we drink coffee and eat Karen cookies. I'm recording it. It's recording this morning.
I don't know who's winning, but I got it recorded.
Well, don't tell me.
But I got all of them on record, so when we go there, we can watch it on
You can watch them right in your garage.
Last night I had the girls on. The TV is 3D. We never watched it in 3D yet. I got the glasses. I figured out how to make the 3D work. I got it.
2 days in a row, your TV worked great. Even this morning, I got the weather. But I'm afraid every time I go to Netflix, I have a backup play because, you know, it's like having a two-stroke. You bring a piston wing with you.
Dale said he went to, when he was in MotoGP out in Texas, he brought me back a couple of things from the paddock.
Where did you go to Texas?
Yeah. How cool is that?
That's nice.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking forward to going there.
I love that guy. What a good dude. What a good dude.
Yeah.
And they did good. They got a second place out of that too, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Second and third.
Fantastic.
Second and third. That was where Rossi bumped him.
Yeah. Divizioso came in. Divizioso, as a matter of fact, is second in the standings.
Beautiful.
Rossi's first, Divizioso second.
Beautiful.
That's big.
Where am I in the standings?
You're number one.
Beyond last. Off the chart. I fell off at the bottom. They don't even let me at the water boy anymore.
We were talking earlier. How great was Steve yesterday? Man, that came in right on time.
Yeah, that was perfect. Couldn't have been better.
You brought it, Casey.
All right, Luciano, this is for you. A supercharged scooter. Wow.
Yeah, you didn't miss anything.
Luciano, where are you when we need you?
I've been holding a sheet rock. Get a cup of coffee. Yeah. You love prep work, right?
Okay. Hi, Wendy.
Hey, what's up?
Love your bike. Saw you coming off the highway. I was going the opposite direction.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
As long as the cops don't see me coming. I prefer
I saw
to.
you. The cops saw you.
I prefer to be totally invisible, to be honest.
Which is why you drive a bright blue motorcycle, right?
All dressed in black. Men in black. Here comes the man in black.
We did the door.
Men in black.
We did that too. It came out great. Well, I gotta stop by.
So anyway, we got to get one picture of Village Market here.
Measure that door.
And we hope we'll see you at the next one, which is first Sunday, or well, actually they're here every Sunday, but they have the old bikes every first Sunday of every month.